So we'll start off with you introducing yourself, your job title, and how many years you worked for the city of Houston Health Department.
Okay, my name is Larry Prescott. I'm an administrative supervisor here at the Houston Health Department in the Bureau of HIV, STD, viral hepatitis prevention. Been working for the city 20 years. Started my career earlier as a DIS. I think the young lady was about 14, and of course, she was infected with HIV, right? So I had to speak with her, and mom was present, you know, and of course, you know how that situation go with us. It was all about confidentiality. I have to speak with the young lady, of course, before we can discuss anything with the parents. They can tell the parent, but we can't. So actually, it was at the clinic I was working at the time, and you know, of course, when we were able to get them separated, you know, in the room with the young lady, and of course, when I told this young lady, you know, at that time, you know, she literally was tearing my office up, you know. Like I say, it affects people in different ways. She couldn't handle it. I mean, she was hollering and screaming, and, you know, literally just tearing her interview room up. And then on top of that, you know, just picture the scene, this young lady, 14 years old, screaming and hollering and doing everything in my office, and her mom sitting out on the other side. Mom hears that, so mom comes banging on the door, you know, because of my baby, my baby, my baby. So, you know, that whole situation stuck with me, how we had to resolve it. Of course, we had to do what we had to do, and was able to calm the young lady down. Of course, then after that, we were able to engage the mother later on after she talked with her mother about what was going on between her and I in the office. That sort of prepared me for this work that we do in this area, how you have to be sensitive, how you have to present it, how you have to be mindful that everybody that we touch is an individual. Every time that we get a report, it's about somebody. You know? And I've always wanted to treat people how I would want to be treated, and I've trained my personnel to kind of, with my own personal perspective on that. You know, you have to treat this person as an individual. No two people are the same. Treat this person as if you were the person that were on the other side of this news that we're bringing, or maybe your brother, your sister, your mother, your cousin, whoever. How would you want us as professionals to treat those people? So I always consider myself a servant, if you will. So and that's what I'm hoping this whole thing with the city for me has been, that, you know, that I've served people, not just the people that I communicate with in the community and all of those other networks, but also with the people I work with every day, that I'm able to serve them in the capacity to help them get better, help them learn something more, you know, just help them, you know, because it does something for me to help people out. Concept of it is to test as many young people as we could, in that 13 to 25 age group. I think we actually went all the way to age 40. But the hip-hop generation is who we were really trying to connect with. We initially started with one of the local hip-hop radio stations that population listened to get them to know their status, because, you know, the best way to stop prevention of HIV is to know your status, right? If you don't know your status, more HIV infections are spread by people who don't know their status than by people who actually do. The NAACP building, we did an event there, and boy, we were tight. I mean, it was elbow room. We had a couple of rooms where we had to just drape off a little bit. It was just tight. It was like an office building, low-level office building where we went room to room and got pretty tight. We realized then that we probably needed to expand our area, so I think the one that stood out for me the most was when we actually moved to Greenspoint Mall. When we were at the NAACP site, I was over the safety portion, which meant I had to make sure all of the safety measures was in place, you know, simple thing from make sure cords are taped down, make sure everything is safety-wise. But that one at Greenspoint really stood out because, man, I tell you, just getting up in the morning and going outside first, cranking up a generator, going open up every door for the store, fixing the minor problems before we get started, because at a certain time we're gonna open the doors anyway, because the crowds are there. We can't say, hey, wait a minute, we got X, Y, and Z. We have to make sure before we open the doors in the morning that everything is ready to roll. And that helped me a lot too, because it kept me moving, which means I wasn't stationary, sitting in the room waiting for somebody to come tell me, hey, I got a problem. I like to try to go out and make sure all the problems are resolved before we open the doors, because once we roll, man, that event rolls, and it just, it's one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. Like anybody else, I've had some up and down times, in terms of, oh, well, is this gonna work? Is it not gonna work? Doubt it was gonna work a little bit, but then a lot of times it plays out, and personally, I've had some other health issues. I'm a cancer survivor. A few years back, got infected with lung cancer, and of course, then you have people taking care of you at the time. How you have to go on the other side of the medical side, and then you kind of get a feel for how people are treating you. And I was blessed because and I contribute that to the way I try to deal with other people. I had some good people around me. I'm not ashamed to say I had lung cancer, which kills more people than breast cancer and prostate cancer and all that stuff combined. And I'm survived, so there was a purpose for that. So after that incident, and I'm not ashamed to say my wife had breast cancer. She died with cancer August 2014. Still able to overcome that. Thought about retiring at that time, but it wasn't the right time. Still felt like I had some people I needed to help. And the reason I'm still here is to help some people. So my faith holds me solid in a lot of different things, because that foundation helps me to stand in the midst of things that's going on in my life. I'm a human like anybody else. I don't want nobody to say no. My faith didn't make me. No, I cried every day. I cried every day. Still cry some days. But you have to have a resolve to get past that, because I still have the drive to do what I need to do. And when I was going through my treatments, when I first got diagnosed, before I got started on the treatments, I was still able to come to work. And then after I got sort of the clearance with the docs through the treatments and the surgeries and all that type of thing, I would come in, they babysat me for a while, they wouldn't let me do a whole lot, which is, I knew why, but I still would come in because that's just the drive of being a servant. But the day is here, so it's time now. I know it's time, and I know it's the right time, because I hope I've left a legacy of service behind. If people just can say I was a servant for them, provided a service and helped people, that's good enough for me. Oh, he fixed this, helped them. I was serving to help people in my department, in my bureau, in my division, and especially in the community. I'm Larry Prescott, Houston Health Department, and I'm glad to protect the H.